is Grace with Graceful Living. I'm an emergency room physician, board certified in both emergency medicine and lifestyle medicine. Today I'm going to talk about how to convert from a standard American diet to a more healthy plant-based diet. What motivated me for this video was that I have two friends going through different situations, but they want to become healthier, and they were asking me how they could do this. One of my friends has kidney failure from some medications she's on, or kidney insufficiency, renal insufficiency. And another one of my friends had a mini stroke, so he was wondering how he can become healthier as he's also diabetic. As I spoke about in previous blog entries, I had one blog entry about someone in the Ornish program who reversed their kidney insufficiency with a healthy, low-fat vegetarian diet. And then I had some other patients who had diabetes, and they were also able to reduce their blood sugar by a healthy vegetarian diet. So there's hope for you if you're out there and you're wondering what can you be doing to improve your health. This video is for you. Here are some techniques you can use to alter your diet and to stick with it.
So I'm titling this video From Standard American Diet to a Whole Foods Plant-Based Diet. I have some basic recommendations if you are going on a plant-based diet for health reasons, including avoiding oil, as oil has a lot of fat, minimize, if not eliminating, your intake of salt, as salt can cause your blood pressure to elevate, as well as minimizing or eliminating any added sugar to your diet. Added sugar does include things like honey or agave syrup, anything that is a sweetener. I also recommend against things that have NutraSweet or any kind of diet sodas, as these kind of artificial sweeteners will increase your cravings for more sugary substances. Firstly, I recommend cooking for yourself rather than going out to eat or purchasing food elsewhere. I have some recommendations here of how you can get healthy recipes to cook for yourself. The first thing I recommend is a 21-day vegan kickstart. This is an app that is put out by the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, and they have a lot of healthy recipes that you can try to cook for yourself. The second thing I recommend is veganizing. I'm not sure if this is a word or I just made it up, but making vegan your favorite things you like to eat. So for instance, if you really like chili, beef chili, you can look online and see if there's a vegan chili version that you can cook. The second thing you can do is find a cookbook that you really like. And then you can try some recipes in the cookbook, and once you get a certain number of recipes, you can just rotate them because you start to kind of memorize how to cook them. Some cookbooks that I have that I really like are UNprocessed by Chef AJ. She doesn't use any added salt, oil, or sugar usually in her recipes, so they are very helpful for people trying to become healthier and lose weight. I also like Bravo by Ramses Bravo. He works at the True North Center. All these recipes are salt, oil, and sugar-free, and the dressings are pretty good, and you don't have to use any oil in the dressings, which I like. I do also like Hawaii, a Vegan Paradise by Lillian Kumik, and for her recipes, some of them do contain salt, oil, and sugar, so I just recommend, if you can, leaving out the oil because some recipes don't really require it, and most times you can just cook with water instead of oil. In regards to salt and sugar, if a cookbook does contain a recipe with salt or sugar, I just recommend you minimize it as much as possible, because some recipes will say you need a certain amount of sugar or a certain amount of salt, but I find that most times I can use a little bit less. Other good cookbooks include The Secrets to Ultimate Weight Loss by Chef AJ. I think in this book she probably doesn't use as many nuts. Nuts can be very fattening. She has a lot of nuts in the first book Unprocessed, but in this book I think there's less nuts. And then from Dr. Greger, How Not to Diet and How Not to Die Cookbook. The next thing I recommend is to find a good website, recipes. Some website will have an email list which you can join, and they will email you recipes that you can add to your repertoire. Here are some great websites. There's Nutmeg Notebook. This woman was part of Chef AJ's weight loss program, and she developed her own recipes, which she has on her website. TheCulinaryGym.com by Chef Katie May also has a lot of healthy recipes, and I also recommend Forks Over Knives. I think they also have an email list, and they have a lot of healthy recipes as well on their website. My other suggestion is to find a YouTube, TikTok, or Instagram channel that you like that has healthy food recipes on it. There is so much out there, it's a little bit overwhelming, but some of it is not entirely healthy that's vegan, so you have to watch out. Some channels that I've checked out are Well Your World. He doesn't make anything with salt, oil, or sugar. The whole food plant-based cooking show is a healthier cooking show as well. And then Lillian Kumick of Lillian's Vegan World also has her own cooking channel, Lillian Vegan, and Jane Esselstyn, who is Caldwell Esselstyn's wife, has a healthy cooking channel as well. There is so much more out there, so have fun searching. Now I'm going to get into going out to eat. Unfortunately, going out to eat is never going to be quite as healthy as eating at home because you don't really know what contents are put in the meals. Whereas at home, you have a lot of control over adding oil, salt, sugar, fat. Ultimately, though, eating out vegan is more likely than not going to be slightly healthier, if not a lot more healthy than eating out not vegan. Whenever I go somewhere I'm unfamiliar with, I always have the Happy Cow app to search for places that are vegan friendly. This is a picture of the Happy Cow app. I got a chance to take a picture with Happy Cow in Los Angeles. The fee is pretty nominal to get the Happy Cow app, but if you don't feel like paying for an app, there's always Yelp and the internet to search for vegan-friendly places. Whenever someone suggests a restaurant to me, I always look ahead of time to see the menu because I don't know if there's anything I can eat. Another thing you can do is you can call ahead to the restaurant to see if they can make some of their options vegan. A lot of the Asian restaurants will do this. You can also ask for them to decrease the amount of oil they use, and they might be agreeable to that as well. Now, last I'm going to deal with going to the supermarket. This can be a very dangerous place for some vegans because there's a lot of vegan junk food in the supermarket. And there's a lot of items that seem like they might be vegan, but they actually are not. So for the supermarket, I recommend you always go through all the ingredients. Because a lot of things seem like they might be vegan, like dark chocolate for instance, but a lot of times you'll find skim milk in it, or something like Indian food. A lot of times it'll have butter in it, even though it seems like they don't have to use that. I find that there are a lot of names to disguise dairy products as well, like whey, for instance, is dairy, and also casein is another dairy product that I try to keep away from. So make sure you read the ingredients always carefully. I touched on this before. Make sure you look at the fat content of everything that you eat. Try to keep it below 3 grams if possible. It's very hard to find processed food that's under 3 grams of fat though. I kind of touched on this before. That's why I recommend unprocessed food like produce. You'll find most fruit and vegetables are under 3 grams per serving of fat, with the exception of avocados, but it's monounsaturated fat mostly, which is not as bad for you as saturated fat. And also nuts have a high amount of fat, so if you're trying to lose weight, I recommend keeping away from nuts or minimizing your intake of nuts. The other thing you really have to watch out for is coconuts. Coconuts are very high in saturated fat, so you have to watch out for how much you eat of that. The good thing about plant foods is they have no cholesterol, so you don't have to worry about that. Cholesterol is only found in animal foods, so by not taking in cholesterol, it shouldn't be adding to the amount of cholesterol in your body. Our bodies can make cholesterol, and we generally don't need more than our body can make. Sometimes people are just so overwhelmed and they feel like they have no time to cook themselves. So I think a possibility is meal delivery. I know there's something called the purple carrot that's supposed to be vegan, but I've never personally tried it. There's also Vegin Out, which I've had in Los Angeles, and that's pretty good. And I wanted to tell you the Buddhist Tzu Chi here in Hawaii is going to have a program soon where they offer a 21-day vegan kickstart, maybe 10 meals or so that are completely plant-based for people to ease the transition from standard American diet to plant-based diet. And if you have the means, there's always the option of a private chef, and you would have more control over what they were putting in the food, like how much oil they added or salt or sugar, but not everyone has the means for this, obviously. Next, I'm going to mention some transition foods. These are things like Beyond Burger, Impossible Burger. A lot of people, when they first give up meat and dairy products, they find that it's really difficult and they miss the taste. So these products can kind of help you transition. So you see, this is a page from Vegco, which is here in Hawaii. They have the Impossible Burger, they have Just Egg for people who miss egg, which I've spoken about before. They have bacon strips, they have seafood, they pretty much have anything that is similar to meat if that's what you're missing. Now, these products aren't completely ideal for your diet, but it's a good way to transition to eating a more plant-based diet, and at least they don't have the cholesterol. I do have a discount code for Vegco for $10 off your first purchase, so if you want to check them out, it's a good opportunity. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe or follow me on Instagram. Please go to graceinhawaii.com for more information. Stay tuned for the next episode where I will go over some things that you can do to inspire you to stick with the plant-based diet. See you next time.